Before I get on to the video, I would just like to say that you shouldn't take my opinion so seriously for 3 reasons. First of all, I haven't seen Doctor Strange, the first film. I have not seen WandaVision, which plays a huge part into this film. I knew bits of it. I haven't seen the entire show, I just know bits. But the third and probably the most important reason why you shouldn't take my opinion so seriously, I fell asleep during the film. Now, I did see the first 2 acts. Act number 3, I somewhat drifted off. I'm not saying that the film put me to sleep. I don't know what it was. But I did see the ending. I saw I think the last 5 minutes of it. But yeah. So those are the reasons why you shouldn't take my opinion so seriously. But my opinion on this film, simply, so I thought it was a really good film for many reasons. The plot was one of the big things that hooked me. And the plot being that Wanda wants to basically go back to WandaVision. And she knows a way in which she can do that, but it would involve a death of a person, and Doctor Strange does not want that. But if she does not get her way, she will kill anyone in her way to get that. So death is on either side, something Doctor Strange really wants to avoid. And what I just loved about this is seeing Wanda in a new light. Is obviously, I haven't seen WandaVision, but I've seen her in previous films and she was always seen as a good person, just with these very extreme powers. And it's quite lucky the Avengers had her on their side, as she could have fucked them up. Just say. Now, the next thing that I loved about this film, is the cool way of multiverses and how we're seeing them travelling into different universes and seeing how it works over there, where we see these cameos. And another thing I really found interesting is people like Doctor Strange, when they go to sleep, their dreams of themselves in a different universe, which again I think is a really cool concept. I really dug that. But the main thing I really loved about this film is how dark for MCU, they're getting a bit better when it comes to darkness, but this was probably the most dark film they've made so far. And I believe that's thanks to Sam Raimi. I think Kevin Feige, or whoever's in charge, allowed them to have that freedom. I really respect it. We've seen characters being somewhat killed in quite gruesome ways. It was really cool. And they made Wanda definitely a strong and worthy foe against Doctor Strange. Definitely loved it. There's one thing in this film which I sort of saw as them maybe not copying directly or borrowing, but more like hinting from DC. As in this film, Doctor Strange attends a wedding only to be distracted by an octopus type creature attacking the town, and he goes to attack. And the main weakness of this creature is its eye, which reminded me of a great DC film that came out, say last year, where the big creature at the end, main weakness was its eye. If you know what I'm on about, that would be the Suicide Squad with the fucking starfish. Now, I'm not saying one copied the other, I'm just saying it's a huge coincidence. Maybe too much to be a coincidence, but I'm not accusing any of them. I thought it was quite cool. Maybe it's just me being nitpicky. But yeah, when it comes to the negatives of this film, I don't have many. I will say, I think people amped this film up. They put too much expectation on it with the cameos. Now, I didn't care for that. Because with Spider-Man No Way Home, they had quite a lot of cameos. And the main cameos I was expecting was Doctor Strange, which obviously they showed, the villains, and obviously the Spider-Man. And fair play, I respected that. I think people, they probably had it amped up to 10 on this film, obviously because of the Charles Xavier voice in the trailer, and the fact that it is dealing with multiverse, so it's going deep into this. And I think it should have been the studio's responsibility to say, yes, this film's going to be great, but don't get your expectations so high. The one thing that did bother me is Deadpool actor Ryan Reynolds somewhat trolling fans into making us believe that he was going to appear in it. Because that's one of the main reasons I was a little bit amped up for the film. But that's on me. I would not blame the studio for that. But I think maybe they should have had some responsibility of lowering people's expectations. The main issue I have with this film is I personally thought this was going to be a continuation of No Way Home. The way you watch the trailers, it seems like Doctor Strange is being punished for what he did in that film, Spider-Man No Way Home, and this is the actions he's going to be punished with, and like more and more shit's happening because of what he did. And sadly that's not the case, and I really was hoping that would be it, and so I could get some understanding over that Morbius ending, which they still haven't fixed. It felt, even though the film did mention Spider-Man, it felt like months and years went by since what happened, which, I don't know, it's kind of annoying. I'm not saying that ruined the film, it just threw me off a bit. The film is good, still sticking with that, the film is good. That threw me off there. And the last thing, which did somewhat bother me, is Doctor Strange. When it came to his powers, he seemed a bit weaker. As from the cameos I've saw it from Spider-Man No Way Home and Avengers Infinity War, he was able to do so much with his magic. Yet in this film, he felt like he was doing little. His sidekick, the little girl, was able to do more than him. Which, yeah, I don't know. But then, maybe because of Thanos snapping his fingers and him coming back, maybe he has somewhat lost the ability. Maybe coming back, he's learning a lot. And so he wasn't able to do so much that he was doing in Avengers Infinity War, maybe Spider-Man No Way Home. After that, his powers, he needs to recharge. Maybe, I'm just assuming. But aside from those, I still think it's quite a good film. That is my rating. I'm not going to put a number attached to it because I feel that would be a bit unfair because I did fall asleep through a little bit of the film. When it comes to recommendations for a Doctor Strange fan, like I have been saying, definitely go watch Spider-Man No Way Home. I think he was great in that, and you'll definitely see the power of his abilities. If you're a Benedict Cumberbatch fan, there are 3 things I'd recommend. First, the film Four Lions. Yes, he has a small cameo which you can find on YouTube, but I personally think you should watch the entire film as it is hysterical. But if you just want to see the scene, fair play. But it's definitely worth your attention. Next, I would say in a bigger role is Star Trek Into Darkness, the sequel, and it's a worthy sequel, and it's somewhat a modern version of Wrath of Khan, him being the main villain, and does, again, an exceptional job. Now, whilst I haven't seen the original, I still think this is a decent, good film. And last, but I wouldn't say least, is his portrayal of Dominic Cummings in the TV movie Brexit and Civil War. Now, I enjoyed it. Now, I know it's not for everyone because it is a political film. Again, we're talking about a subject not many people like to talk about in public, that being Brexit, and fair enough, I understand that completely, and maybe you don't want to watch subject matter like that, but I found it interesting, and I think maybe some of you would as well. When it comes to recommendations about the director, that being Sam Raimi, I haven't seen the Evil Dead franchise. I've seen the 3rd one when I was a kid, that's about it. I will watch those someday, but the film I am going to recommend is his first ever superhero film before he got attached to the Spider-Man films, that being Darkman. Very good film, definitely worth a watch. I'd call it more of a bucket list film than if anything. I'm not saying it's terrible, I'm just saying it's an average film, but definitely worth at least one viewing. And it may be getting a sequel someday. There are talks. Alright, that's all I have to say. Have a good day, and yeah.